let me just tell you the quick story. I was really thinking about the way in which transformation happens for people. And it's
Mhm.
usually in ways you don't expect, and it's surprising and can be delightful. But and I was thinking about it more because of something that happened. And what happened was I was in a low mood this past Saturday. I was not feeling so great. And I thought I was supposed to do all these things. I had a list of things to do. And I thought, oh, I should really do these things. And it was raining and it was kind of dark, like it is for you there, dark and gray. And I thought, yeah, I don't, I just could not get myself to do them. And it was on the weekend. And I thought, what's going to help me with my mood right now? It's going to really, in a very Zen kind of way. A lot of times, if I bake something, it really puts me in a good mood and or changes my mood. Doesn't not like, but it changes my mood. And also, I don't even bake that often, but when I do, I enjoy it because I have time to do it. And so I had some ingredient. This is one thing I love doing is when I have ingredients that are just a little bit left of things. I like to create a recipe that I want to use up the ingredients for, and then I can use it all up and be done with it and make something new. And there was this, I happen to have this last little bit of some cashew butter. I don't even like cashew butter that much, but I like having it around for certain things. And there's this recipe, this bread recipe that calls for a significant amount of cashew butter in the recipe. And I thought, oh, I'm going to make that recipe. That'll be fun to do. It's a very labor intensive recipe, so it's many steps, but that'll be a good focus for me because the way my mood is, I'll put on some good music and the house, it'll smell really good, and I'll use up the rest of these ingredients that I want to use up. And there was some other ingredients to use up. So I put all the ingredients together, and as I'm making it and with all these different steps, I realized that there wasn't enough cashew butter. And so I was like, oh man, okay. So what do I do? All right, well, I think I had some sunflower seed butter, which I barely ever use also. And I thought, well, I don't use that very much, so I'll just use up the rest of that too. So I've never done this with this recipe before, but I thought, all right, I'll put together the cashew butter and the sesame seed butter, and I put them together. I mean, the sunflower seed butter. And I followed the recipe to a T, and I put it in the oven, and 40 minutes go by, and I'm cleaning and listening to music. And I definitely was feeling differently as I'm doing this process. I start changing my mood, which was nice that I could do something that helped. Anyway, I go to open the oven to check on it, and usually the bread loaf is the color of my skin. It's like a beige color. It's like a skin color loaf, like a normal loaf of bread. And about 40 minutes in, I go to check on it, and I literally screamed because what I saw in the bread loaf pan was bright green. I mean, like green, like in the forest, like leaves, like green loaf of bread. And I was like, what the hell happened here? It freaked me. I was like, I screamed. And I'm like, and I'm thinking, did I use rotten eggs? Like, what happened? Like, I don't understand. I'm gonna get to kill myself with this bread. Like, so I start thinking about, well, maybe it's because I combined the cashew with the sunflower seed. And I'm like, no. And so then I start reading about what happens when you bake sunflower seed butter, which I don't do very often. And sure enough, when you mix the sunflower seed with baking soda, you create something called chlorogenic acid, which means chlorophyll. It brings out the chlorophyll, which is what's in all plants, is like chlorophyll. A lot of times it's green, and you bring out the green that's in the sunflower seeds. And I had no idea. And these articles saying, oh, it's great for St. Patrick's Day and whatever. And so then I was like in the best mood. I was laughing. I thought it was so cool. Here I was, and I changed, like I felt completely different. It was like I transformed my whole mood just by like baking this loaf of bread, and it was hilarious. And then, I ended up doing all kinds of things with it, and it tasted great, and didn't taste green, and it didn't taste creepy and weird, and I didn't kill myself with it. And so anyway, it just made me think so much about what happens with the creative process, but transformation with our health, with our bodies, with the things that we do. We go in thinking it's going to be one way, and it actually turns out to be these sort of happy accidents another way. And then in the process, we can actually end up feeling better than we imagined. And it's not so, but it's like doing things to it just really highlighted like the creative process and transformation and how things can really surprise and delight us. and how it's great, those unexpected moments. And it was so much fun. It wasn't this like awful, it was great. And it changed my whole day. And then I have this story to tell. And I keep thinking about the green bread. I have some in my freezer. I even made French toast with it just because why not? So anyway, that was the story that I don't know, I keep thinking about it every day. It's like really stayed with me. I had also, um, art. There's two things that inspire me a lot in life. One is music and art. So when I hear music that really touches me or really lights me up, it inspires me in many, many ways. And I think that anything involving the way in which we can ignite our own creativity can be a pretty powerful force in our lives. So I don't know, there's surprises in there. That's all I wanted to say. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Jessica. I'm a holistic health practitioner, and I tend to work with a lot of high achieving creative people, which can mean many things, but creativity is definitely a throughout piece. And if any of this appeals to you and you'd like to know more or talk through a bit more around what inspires you, where you're getting stuck, what's in the way, how your health also is part of this equation as well, because usually they're combined. Please be in touch. You can book a call with me through my website, or you can send me an email. There's a scheduling link, and I would really love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how this resonates with you, and we'll see where we go from there.